So today I decided to film my April wrap-up, and my goal was to read 4 books this month, but I ended up reading 3. I was going to reread The Fault in Our Stars this month, but my sister and my sister's friend want me to read it with them right before the movie comes out, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll be getting to that one in June. The first book that I read is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and I really liked this one, but I don't think I liked it as much as the first book in the series. It was pretty action-packed, and you can definitely see the main character developing in this story, and it's really cool. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really did like it, but I had to go back and read the last couple chapters of the first book before I read this one, because I started it and I was a little confused. The next book that I read this month is Vicious by Victoria Schwab, and this was a really interesting book. I've had this on my shelf for a really long time, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, but I'm really glad I did. It's about these 2 men, and some crazy stuff happens and they acquire these abilities. It's just crazy. I really loved it. It was super interesting. It's an adult novel, which I usually only read young adult, so it was nice to kind of branch out a little bit. I liked this because it was so different than anything else that I'd read. I did read Never Fade, which involves people with supernatural abilities, but this was completely different than that. It always kept me on my toes, like I never knew what was going to happen. I love Victor and I love Eli. Their characters are so interesting and complex. And I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads as well. And the last book that I read this month was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This also has been on my shelf for a really long time, and I just never got around to reading it. I liked this one a lot. This book was a little slow-paced for me in the beginning. I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. I was thinking it was more of like a 3-star rating up until the end, and I was just like, okay, this is good. This is good stuff. I'm guessing most of you know what this book is about because it's been around for a couple years now and people talk about it all the time. But it's about this girl named Cinder, and she's living in the future in New Beijing, and she is a cyborg, which means she has like robot parts. She has a robot hand and foot, and cyborgs are kind of looked down on in this society. They're kind of like freaks, I guess, and people try to avoid them. It's like a fairy tale retelling of the story Cinderella, so you see the similarities between the 2 stories. Like, she lives with her stepmother and her 2 stepsisters, and there's a prince, and it was good. I liked it more than I thought that I would. It definitely got better as it went on. I was unsure about it for a little while, but I really did like it. I loved the characters, I liked the world and the whole idea. I ordered the second book in the series on Amazon today, actually, because I want to definitely continue on in the series. The next book is Scarlet, and I guess it's supposed to be about like Little Red Riding Hood. So I'm super pumped about that. And yeah, every single book I read this month got a 4 out of 5 star rating from me. I really liked them all. I hope you enjoyed my April wrap-up. Yeah, leave a comment, tell me if you read any of these books and what you thought about them. Anyway, bye! Ugh, why does the sun keep disappearing?